up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Spoonettes podcast. I'm your coach, Alicia.
I'm Whit.
I'm Coach Mandy.
And guys, before we get into today's topic, I need you to stop what you're doing and go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you. But guys, today we are going to talk about maintenance, the importance of staying on track, and what to do if you fall off. So, Whitney, let's start with you this time. How would you describe maintenance, especially in the E2M program?
Okay, so E2M can be a little bit different. So we are mainly a weight loss program. So with that being said, we're looking to lose weight, obviously. So when you lose the amount of weight that you would like to lose, we transition you into more of a custom type of weight, like as far as exercise and eating, and depending on what your goals are, is kind of where we give you that guidance there. So that is what maintenance is for E2M.
Yes, awesome. And also, Mandy, as she was stating with what maintenance is, people reach out to us once they reach their weight loss goals. What are some tips that you would give people to kind of stay on track with that? Because it's so easy for you to be like, okay, you can be nervous about the transition because you've been used to something so long. So sometimes we hear it all the time from our clients. They're kind of scared to add in the extra, right? And so how can we talk about, what you should do to help maintain it, and what are some things that we can tell our clients or anyone's watching that's transitioning to a different plan of not being scared and trusting the process?
This is such an important topic. I'm happy that we're talking about this today because that is a huge thing, the mental piece and the being scared to add in more food or different exercise, reduce your cardio, whatever it might be to reach the new goals you set for yourself. But first of all, you need to have a trainer that you trust. We will not steer you wrong. Your coach is not going to steer you wrong because they want you to win. Because when you win, you post your pictures.
Right.
They get
win for a win.
They look good. But outside of that, I just stay consistent with the routines I've set for myself. That is what is I'm very routine oriented. We have talked about this on one of our previous podcasts. But you keep the routines, even though you're doing a different workout or even though you're eating something different. You can still eat on the same schedule. You can still work out on the same schedule. And I think, or if it means you have to adjust those routines just a little bit, find what your new routines are. So I'm somebody that gets ready every morning. I wake up, I shower, I'm ticked and tied for my workouts or for whatever I'm doing that day. So that's how I start my day and dedicate the start of the day. So I get ready, I have a routine, I do my live workout, I take my daughter to school, and then I go straight to the gym. So routines are going to be a huge thing.
You pick out your clothes the night before?
I pick my clothes out the night before. I do.
That's a big
I haven't
one.
been posting them as much lately, but I was every single night posting them on Instagram because I want people to see I actually am doing this. I'm not just telling you to do it. But picking your clothes out, that's another layer of accountability too. So accountability is still important. The same things that were important as you were working toward that big goal are still important for you to do. So those are kind of the things, a couple of tips. I could talk about this for hours, but we ain't got that long.
One thing that you said I thought was super important. You said if you need to make an adjustment, just do it a little adjustments. And I think it's super important to know that not to do too much. I think sometimes when you're moving into a whole nother transition of the maintenance, it's I can dibble it here, dibble it there, dibble it there. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my goodness, wait a minute, I don't put on this weight that I wasn't expecting, or I'm not motivated anymore. And that is usually when people need to bounce back. And sometimes the hardest part is not always the physical, because physically, you can get it done. You already did it. But it's that mental piece. So a lot of times, I like to encourage people when you're thinking about mentally getting back, is just still congratulate yourselves for the small wins. So the small things that you've done. So you may have noticed that, dang, I kind of fell off a little bit. I need to get back on track. And say, for instance, you are starting to get back on track, whether it's your water, whether it's your meals, or maybe you're doing some workouts, and it may not be exactly what you have been doing, but it's something. So first, on the mental side of things, congratulate yourselves, or, give yourself a little pat on the back for the things that you did do, the small wins, because those small wins add up. They add up, and you get the bigger results from it. Also, guys, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself when you are transitioning, whether it's to go into maintenance or with bouncing back, because again, it can be something that's nerve-wracking, especially if you're trying to, a lot of times if you do gain that weight back, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm starting over. And if that's how you feel, then okay, you have the willpower to get it done because you already did it before. You just got to get back into that mental piece of it. And also, I know with E2M, we do have mental fitness coaching, but if you're someone who's watching this outside of E2M, get you someone that you can talk to, the proper resources to talk about, like, what is the deeper issue? Because sometimes it's deeper than what we know. Sometimes grieving can cause you to just kind of be like unmotivated, whether, lost a job, just any type of trauma. So sometimes we have to dig deep. It's not always like, oh, I just don't feel like it today. No, it could be something that's happened in my life and I just cannot find the motivation. And there's so many resources out there to help you with those things. So don't be afraid, guys. Don't be afraid. I'm a strong advocate of therapy. I go to therapy every other Monday. It has helped change my life. So guys, get the help that you need if you know you need to speak to someone on a deeper level. But yes, man, be gentle with yourself. Congratulate the small wins. And make sure you tell an accountability partner, honey, I say this all the time, those goals that you set in private, you will also cancel them bad boys in private. So tell someone. I told these ladies earlier, I think it's this month, I was like, all right, guys, I need to get back on doing my upper body, my back, and I have held myself to that because I know that, we work out together. You're going to be like, oh, okay, hyping me up a little bit. Like, I see you sis working, but that motivates me because it's like, all right, I told these ladies I want to do something. And I'm doing it. I'm seeing the results for myself, and they do too. So, again, make sure you tell somebody, guys, because accountability is super important. But yeah, I think it's such a great topic that we're having about maintenance, and just for anybody who's out there who is trying to maintain, not even just weight, just even with your workout. So, Whitney, I'm gonna start with you. Like, what are some things if you find yourself not being able to work out? Say, for instance, if you have an injury or something, right? And what are some things that you could tell someone that they can still do? Because sometimes injuries even, I say excuse, but sometimes you just can't do it. But sometimes it's like it will allow you to feel like, oh my gosh, I have to start.
It'll make you shut down.
Yeah,
it'll make you shut down.
So, what are some things that could help people bounce back from if they have an injury?
So the first thing I want to say is to echo what you said as far as making sure you're not having that yo-yo effect with your exercises and your eating. You want to stay consistent and everything. But as far as, let's say somebody does have an injury, let's say a lower body or upper body, but there's always the other half you can work on. So we can always work on our upper body or lower body. But let's say your doctor has told you that you can't work out at all, okay? But maybe you can go on like a walk, a light walk or something. Keeping your body moving regardless and keeping those habits like Mandy talked about and discussed is going to be the most important. You still need to get up in the morning. You still need to, get up. Like you get up and get ready. And I talk about you in my lives a lot. I'm like, Mandy literally gets up. She showers. She puts her face on. She does all this. Like, and me and Alicia are like, she's in her bonnet. I'm over here.
Don't put my bonnet in this.
I had a bonnet.
My bonnet's like, how did I get in?
I know. I had my bonnet on this morning, so thank you for teaching me how to put it on. So anyway, but I think just like Mandy said, keeping those habits. But the main thing is let's say you can't work out like fully. Okay, well, you still have to stick to your eating. That does not mean you can slip on your eating. Okay, I understand that you're upset. Understand that you're sad. Understand that this makes you feel like you can eat the whole thing of Doritos, or this makes you feel like that it's pointless, or whatever it may be. It's not pointless because, like, I'm going to say it again, you can't outwork a bad diet, so it's not going to make a difference. So just doing what you can and realizing that you cannot give up on yourself and you have to stay strong in those habits and realize how far that you've come and not letting yourself slip or go into that yo-yo stage is going to be the most important.
Man, that's a good point, man. You still have to eat. That's the thing, like, oh, I hurt my wrist. Okay, you still got to eat.
We get this question all the time, like, hey, I've been hurt. Should I, have less meals? No, absolutely not. 100% no, we do not want you doing that. So we definitely encourage the food.
And you can win in the transition time, too. I mean, I think it's actually very important to really put focus on winning in transition. So these times where maybe you're hurt or you're switching from one goal to the next goal, those are the times when people really crumble. I mean, across the board, not just in fitness, but across the board in jobs and marriages, things like that. And I think it's really important to focus on winning. So, let's say that your doctor says no workouts for however long or indefinitely. You got to win in the transition. And maybe that means that instead of going to your workout in the morning, you go read, or you go, like Whitney said, you just walk, or you replace that time with something else that's going to feed you, and you can still continue to make progress in whatever part of your life that you want to, along with drinking your water, eating your meals, staying positive, keeping in touch with your accountability people. So it takes a little bit more mental focus, but you're going to maybe free up a little bit because you can't do your workout. So that's an hour a day. You can do something else to benefit yourself.
Right. I do believe that we're all pretty strong-minded, but luckily enough, we have each other as an accountability. Yeah. So when we are struggling, we always shoot that message over like, hey, I need that. Somebody give it to me.
Yeah, everybody needs that support. And
Put on that loud music.
Right. It's definitely easier said than done, but it's perspective. At the end of the day, it's a perspective. We always encourage people to use any situation or any experience as a learning curve. All right, you focus it on I can't do this, I can't do that. Okay, well, what can you do? Like Mandy just said, like, what can you do? You just say, okay, I may not be able to do workouts, but I can still drink my water. I can still feed my mind. I can still eat my meals. What can you do? So at the end of the day, guys, I get it. We go through our yo-yo effect. Sometimes we have our ups, sometimes we have our downs. But at the end of the day, you just still have to remember the goal, the main goal, your why of why you started. And sometimes you have to adjust, the things that you have to do to get there, but it still stands. So I think this is a great topic.
More serious than usual, but I liked it.
Yeah,
this is good.
It was good topic.
Some good perspective.
Yes. But guys, again, we always appreciate you tuning in. I stated this in the last episode, but if you have any topics that you would love for us to hit on during any episodes, go ahead and drop those in the comments. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next episode. Bye.